What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., and everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, and daily news. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to subscribe right now. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us as well. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our channel. In this video, we're going to talk about $500 new stimulus checks being announced and actually going out. We'll talk about who's going to get those in this video. And the Senate has an urgent 48-hour deadline that they must meet, or else they're in big trouble. So let's jump right in. We got a lot to talk about. Here we go. The Senate is down to less than 48 hours of a government shutdown deadline by the end of day Friday, tomorrow. If they don't come to a deal in the Senate and pass it, we will have a government shutdown. Here's what Senate Majority Leader had to say.
Republicans must keep working with us on an agreement to move quickly on a CR. Democrats are working in good faith to reach a time agreement soon with our Republican colleagues. There is every reason in the world to arrive at an agreement quickly, so I urge my colleagues on the other side to keep working with us to get there.
One of the biggest hurdles on this government shutdown deal is math. As part of the deal to speed up this bill, Republicans want votes on two amendments to defund President Biden's vaccine mandates. Remember, there's still a couple of those that exist. Republican senators have made similar efforts during previous short-term spending bills, and they've fallen short on. But Democrats appear to be short the votes needed this time around to defeat the amendments, which they would only need a simple majority to be added to the CR. But this time they're short a few votes. 3 Democratic senators missed votes on Wednesday. This is because Senator Ben Ray Lujan, a Democrat from New Mexico who recently suffered a stroke, is currently out. Senator Mark Kelly, a Democrat from Arizona, and Dianne Feinstein are both dealing with family medical emergencies and were not there yesterday either. A spokesperson for Feinstein said she would not return today, and a spokesperson for Kelly said that did not respond. So the Democrats are short 3 votes. So basically, the Democrats, at least right now, need extra support from Republicans. Normally, they would need 10 votes from Republicans. Now they're going to need 13 votes from Republicans. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this shakes down. As of right now, Democrats really kind of don't even have the majority in the Senate. Now, they don't really lose the majority placeholder in the Senate immediately. That's not really how it works. But we'll see. They're down to less than 48 hours here on the government shutdown. I'll keep you up to date. A new poll shows inflation is the #1 most important urgent issue facing the U.S. But between Democrats and Republicans, there's actually some interesting difference of opinions here. I was a little bit surprising here. Check this out. The Quinnipiac University poll survey found that only 27% of respondents see inflation as the country's most urgent issue, followed by 12% immigration and 10% saying the virus or the pandemic. Yeah. Here's where things get even more interesting. According to the poll, 36% of Republicans list inflation as the top priority, with 23% saying immigration and 11% saying crime. Independents said relatively the same, 32% listing inflation as the top issue, followed by 10% immigration and 9% saying the pandemic. 9% of independents also listed climate change as a top issue. But for Democrats, it was pretty different. Only 13% of Democrats respondents said inflation was a top priority. Instead, the number one answer for Democrats as the number one urgent issue was climate change at 17% as the most urgent issue. Very interesting. Followed by 16% saying election loss. Yeah, very, very stark differences there between Democrats and Republicans. And also interesting to note there that independents more closely followed Republicans there in this particular poll. The poll also gauged Americans' views on the current state of the economy. 59% of Americans surveyed said the economy is getting worse, and 25% said it remains the same. Only 15% said the economy is getting better. Pretty interesting. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're a Democrat, Independent, or Republican, do you kind of agree with that? Do you have completely different thoughts on that? Yeah, pretty interesting. Also, do you agree with that the economy is getting worse, getting better, about the same? Yeah, pretty interesting thoughts here. If you listen to the White House, they say the economy is getting better. I had an interesting thought here when we had an interview. I think it was from CNBC, where they had a little bit of a back and forth there, and it was kind of the first time I heard this interesting kind of rebuttal, where we had two experts on. I think it was about inflation. I just had this interview on shown on the channel here just a few videos back. Again, I'm not from either side, so I just kind of, we talk about things all the time here, and again, I'm not from either side, so I can just kind of talk about things freely here. But they were talking about, the experts were talking about, or maybe it was somebody from the White House was talking about the 6 million jobs that the Biden administration talks about that they've gained in the first year. And then the show host said, well, yeah, but those aren't really jobs gained because there was an artificial low from the pandemic that, a lot of people lost their jobs because of the pandemic and the closing of the country and, the recession. And all those jobs were lost because of the pandemic, 6 million, 10 million jobs or whatever, right? And now people are going back to work and going back to their jobs. And those are the 6 million jobs. And I was like, that's a very interesting kind of point of view. It's not necessarily like we gained 6 million jobs. It's a lot of it is kind of like people are going back to work. Remember that like 37% of small businesses went out of business. So when businesses go out of business and all those people lost their jobs and then they were on unemployment, when unemployment runs out, what do? Eventually they have to go find a job. So I don't know if it's kind of really fair to say we gained or we created 6 million jobs. I mean, surely we created some jobs. I get it, right? I get it. But I agree with the host or the interviewer there who said, well, it's kind of an artificial low there because a lot of it's because of the pandemic. We've seen that artificial drop because of the pandemic, and a lot of people are now starting to go back to work, right? A lot of people stopped going to work because they were scared of the virus. A lot of people stopped, the whole thing. A lot of people lost their jobs because of the pandemic, and a lot of businesses just flat out went out of business. And now people are like, oh, well, unemployment's run out. I got to go back to work, or for whatever reason, they got to go back to work. And, jobs are going back up because of that reason. So you can let me know your thoughts if you kind of agree with this. But I do kind of agree with it. Now, surely some jobs have been created, no doubt. but I did find that interesting from that interview. And you could let me know your thoughts if you kind of agree with this. I thought that that was a realistic point of view. Again, not leaning either way. I consider myself a realist, and I agree with the interviewer there. I think that that's a fair reaction to say, when you kind of think about it realistically. And the other thing here is, in fairness to everybody here in the US and around the world, inflation is red hot everywhere, everywhere. And again, I'm not defending Biden because I was just kind of, not defending him in what I just said. But inflation in the UK just came out and has surged to the fastest rate in almost 30 years. And this is how you can tell I'm not from either side, because in one case I'll not defend him, and in another case I'll come up with an article that might seem like I'm defending him. Because again, I could care less. I'm just kind of giving you guys the news here. But inflation is at a 30-year high in the UK. Inflation's red hot all across the world. It's not just because of the stimulus checks in the US. And that's where people that say, "Oh, it's because of Biden's stimulus check." That's just completely false. Remember, Biden only passed one stimulus check. Trump passed two. And if a Republican says that, it's so wrong, because Trump passed more stimulus than Biden did, and Trump spent more money on stimulus than Biden did as well. Trump's first stimulus package alone was $2.3 trillion than Biden did. If anything, Biden needs to spend more money just to catch up with Trump and help out the people more. If anything, Trump did a better job helping out the people. So if anything, if anybody from Biden's administration is listening right now, anybody at all, any Democrats are listening at all from Congress, you guys need to send out that $800 billion to the people right now that are struggling. It's an election year. And if you guys want to not lose the House, the Senate, or well, you can't lose the presidency this year, but if you guys don't want to lose votes, you guys got $800 billion of stimulus money sitting there that's already approved. And you need to use it. If the whole year goes by and you don't use it, there's going to be a lot of voters unhappy. A lot of voters unhappy. There's 63% of Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck, behind on bills, and struggling. And there's $800 billion of stimulus money that's already approved just sitting there. This money will not add to the debt. It's already been allocated. It's already added to the debt. And it will not add to inflation because it's already been allocated. It's already been approved. If anything, it's already been added to the inflation. Okay? It's just already been printed. It's just waiting to be sent out. So are you really going to have hundreds of millions of people, 63% of Americans, struggling with all this money just sitting there? Yeah. Meanwhile, the states are doing a better job than Congress is right now. If you've been watching my show, almost on a daily basis, I have new information and new news coming out here. And that's right, yet another state is helping out their residents here. That's right, check this out. And I love showing you guys this on the screen so you know it's true. That's right, here we go. Yet another one. The state of Massachusetts to send out $500 payments to 500,000 people, 500,000 essential workers next month. Yeah, this is from masslive.com, massachusettslive.com. Here are the details. Massachusetts essential workers will soon receive $500 payments from the Commonwealth. Nearly 500,000 low-income workers across Massachusetts can expect to receive $500 payments in late March as part of the Baker administration's COVID-19 Essential Employee Premium Pay Program. Say that 10 times fast. People's income eligibility will be based on 2020 tax returns. which the Executive Office for the Administration and Finance on Tuesday acknowledged could be overly inclusive approach for a program intended to benefit those, quote, deserving workers who reported to work in person during the pandemic. But state officials defended using tax return as a proxy for distributing the payments quickly and accurately to individuals who earn below 300% of the federal poverty level. The new details of the premium pay emerged almost 2 months after Governor Charlie Baker signed the massive $4 billion stimulus relief bill into law. Charlie Baker had repeatedly criticized lawmakers for dragging out funding discussions about the Federal American Rescue Plan Act. He's a Republican. The legislature, so hey, we have a Republican sending out stimulus checks. Imagine that. The legislature ultimately managed to pass the spending package in the midst of a 7-week recess following unsuccessful negotiations leading up to Thanksgiving. The first round of funding totals $250 million, leaving $210 million more to be doled out to essential workers in subsequent phases of the program. The first round of payments to low-income workers will provide meaningful support to individuals who continue to work despite the global pandemic. Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito said in a statement Tuesday afternoon. We are pleased that our administration has been able to quickly design this program to get funds out the door to those workers who the program is intended to support. Most people will find out they were eligible for the payment once they receive a check next month. Alrighty, so you'll find out if you are eligible once you receive the check, the office says. There will be a government webpage residents can use to gauge their eligibility, as well as a hotline people can call for questions. It is unclear if that hotline will offer multilingual assistance. A single filer with no dependents earning at least $12,750 and up to $38,280 can expect a $500 check. The maximum income threshold for other family sizes entails $51,720 for a household of 2, $65,000 for a family of 3, $78,000 for a family of 4, $92,000 for a family of 5, and $105,000 for a family of 6, $118,000 for a family of 7, all sorts of different numbers here. Yeah. Massachusetts residents who received unemployment compensation in 2020 do not qualify for this program, and neither do state workers who already got or may soon get a one-time payment from the Commonwealth. So, yeah, absolutely amazing. Yet another state sending out stimulus checks to their residents, 500,000 people to the state of Massachusetts. And this time around, it's from a Republican governor. So, really, really awesome there. So I will keep you up to date here as all these different states have gotten over $1 billion from their third stimulus check package money. And all of these states are like flush with cash. So if you've been watching my show, almost on a daily or weekly basis, I have more and more states, cities, and counties announcing stimulus checks and stimulus type programs um, all the time, all the time. And they're not always for essential workers. They're just all sorts of different groups of people. And we're also seeing states do multiple different programs. So sometimes we're seeing a state do a check for essential workers. Then they come out again with another stimulus check for the rest of the people because these states have so much money that they're kind of doling out multiple checks here as they realize how much money, or they're just kind of sending them out in stages here. So I will keep you up to date here. Even Republican governors sending out checks now. So there's a lot of states with a lot of money, almost every single state here. I'll keep you up to date here. If you've been watching my channel almost on a daily basis, you see that state after state after state after state are just saying, hey, send out these checks, send out these checks. People are hurting, people are in need. It's actually really pretty awesome. It actually makes me feel really good that a lot of these states are doing this here. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. I'll keep you up to really cool news on stimulus news like this, as well as daily news and everything going on here in our country. So click the subscribe button right now down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember those times so you don't miss out on new videos. Click the bell icon after subscribing so you get reminders when we go live with new videos. You can click this video here to watch my newest video next. And this video is how there could be monthly checks for adults coming in the near future as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.